Yeah, Seattle's changed a whole lot of things, man. Why do they still call it the Torchlight Parade? And
It's in the daytime.
If you had a torch, you wouldn't know it was on because the sun was so bright. But
Yeah.
yeah, everything has changed.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm wondering now because, okay, so the hydroplane races are Sunday, right?
Yeah.
I remember how it was once upon a time. And I'm wondering if how much different it is now, because guess what? There is supposed to be a funeral at Shelter 5 in Seward Park at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, what day?
Sunday.
Wow. How's that? Oh, wow.
Good morning, good afternoon,
Okay.
good evening, happy seafarer.
Yay.
I am one of your illustrious co-hosts, Brother David Harold Dudley III, also known as Sweet Sunny D,
Too many acres.
also known as
Too many acres.
Baby, also known as Delightful Dave, and you are
Did you say bacon? You're known as bacon?
Baker,
Oh,
as in cake.
and
Oh, I thought it was like getting baked.
Delightful Dave.
Delightful Dave.
Not so delightful. Delightful. I feel it. I feel it in my
Oh, you
ear.
feel, you feeling it?
I've
Yeah.
been away for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can tell.
I noticed that.
Street philosopher,
Oh, yeah.
and hope everybody's doing well. I would like for somebody to explain to me how you have a parade at 4 p.m. and call it a torchlight parade, but I've been away for a while,
I
sir.
don't know. I'm the real Cliff Barnes, and I don't know why they had a torchlight parade in the middle of the daytime either.
Well,
'Cause it was very strange. But it does cut down on the late night crime.
yeah, it does. And also,
Because when it used to end at 10,
yeah, and it was used to be cold when it ended. Now it's hot, and it's hot when it started. So you have a hot torch light parade. Hey, that makes sense to me.
not me.
Well, it's hot because if you turn on the weather and it says, well, the temperature is 78, it's still climbing. Yeah, it's hot because it's still.
But and you got those
Summertime.
torches going too.
They didn't
So it's
have
going
no
into the
torches.
air, you know, making it get hot. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Torches? Well, yeah, looking for Frankenstein. What you run around with torches for?
Yes, for
You got the
daytime
people, you got the
Frankenstein.
guys, Igor, walking around with one hand down the ground. Yeah.
Igor, I remember him.
It's Igor.
Depends on where you're from.
They said it was Igor, but they were wrong, weren't they? Yeah. So, I don't know, Mr. Producer, what are your thoughts on, we're old, are we just like out of touch, the Torchlight Parade starting at 4 p.m. and ending at 5:30?
No, I think that's trash. Because the whole thing, I was in all city band. And so for us, doing Torchlight was a highlight of our summer because it was one of our only nighttime parades. Now, when I was in it, we were still starting at daylight, but by the time we got to Westlake, where the TV cameras were, it was nighttime. And that was, for a kid, being center stage on TV, doing a dance with your friends, that's the best feeling in the world. And, a lot of that has to do with, You feel like you're a star amongst the stars. So
Because it's later.
it being in the daytime, it feels like another parade.
It is.
And for people who do parades, it's not special anymore. It's just another now it's just a long ass parade.
Back in the day, we used to have two parades. We'd have a grand parade. Remember when we were kids? We'd have a grand parade, right? And then to end it, started with the grand parade. It was early in the day, a week before, and then they have all the parades, and then it ended with torchlight.
Right.
And the reason it was torchlight is because, like CJ said, when it started, it was daytime, but by the time you got to marching, it would be dusk and on into night. Mm-hmm. And that's why they called it torchlight.
Yeah.
And all the groups had lights. They had flashlights, and a lot of them would have the flashlights, the color of their uniforms or whatever, and like all the floats, and even the pirates had lights on the duck and everything. So I mean, it just didn't. I watched it on television, and it was like, okay, I mean,
It was on TV?
huh?
It was on TV?
Yeah, it always is.
I didn't even know it was on TV this
Yeah,
year.
I turned it on and I went, what the hell? Why is this on? So I'm thinking it's a replay from last year's
It
stuff
just
because
feels
the
strange.
torchlight is in there.
Yeah. And that to touch on that, being in the band, the lights, that was also a big part of getting us at night. We would take those glow sticks and we'd decorate our instruments.
Right.
We'd do all types of things,
And All City Band was green, so
Yeah.
they'd have the green glow sticks, and then they'd have like flashlights with green lenses.
Flashlight.
You know.
The floats would have lights on them.
But yeah. But we had, cause both of my kids were in All City, and that was the highlight.
The only one of mine.
Yeah.
That was a highlight. Did
Megan's not
was Mr. Pitcher still the?
No.
Yeah, cause he was there when
No, Marcus.
Both of them.
Marcus was the head guy.
was it Marcus?
My first year was Marcus's.
Yeah.
It was either his first or second year
Yeah, okay.
as band director.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who are we? All
City Band, I remember that. Yeah. So, is anybody other than me noticing, or maybe nobody is bothered by it, that everything you want to see now, you got to go find an app to see it, and you got to do this 30-day free trial before they start charging you?
Why can't you just?
Oh,
do,
you mean on computer on your phone?
You mean like watch things?
Yeah, like you're watching things
like
on
streaming
TV.
services?
Yeah, streaming
Yeah.
service, and that was a lead-in to something else, but I saw Nickelodeon
Oh my
is an app now, and if you want to watch some, I don't know if it was Pack 9 or where they did it out to Pack 4, they're going to be on Nickelodeon or something. It's crazy. Everything
Oh yeah.
is kind of on an app or streaming services now.
Well, we had the Pac-12 network,
Yeah.
We're used to.
and they had Pac-12, and then Pac-12 North, and so those games, our games were so late at night because Pac-12 network would put them on at 7:30 here. Well, that's 10:30 back east.
True.
So by that time our games came on, all of the reporters and the writers on the East Coast and in the central parts of the country, the stories were already written, and
Yeah.
and by the time, so we got no PR, no play, and I don't think that contract was as lucrative as some of the other conferences' contracts, because when you got ABC, NBC, CBS, ESPN, and then you got Pac-12, and now it's the Pac-9.
wherever the, when
Well,
the
you
dust
know,
settles.
but it's gonna get better because I see where they're looking at favorably on not direct, but Apple TV
Oh yeah.
having the Pac-12 or
But see-
Pac-9, whatever. So what's gonna happen there is who in the heck has Apple TV?
That's what I'm saying. Not only
It's
not
gonna
only
be just
that,
like the Pac-12 network.
Yeah,
yeah, not only that, but you gotta pay for it.
you gotta pay for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Again, app.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Because my-
NBC is the Peacock, right?
Peacock is NBC streaming, yeah.
Things I used to be able to watch
Mhm.
on the Peacock, now I've been told, no. I don't know where you've been, but you can't watch this for free anymore. You have
Nope.
to sign up. I was like, well, you are NBC, you are the Peacock, so now you gotta sign up
Mhm.
to watch the Peacock.
Just like Amazon Prime, you can't see Thursday Night Football unless you got Amazon Prime.
Yeah, but
I started last
got
season.
That's true.
I got Amazon Prime, but I got it from Jump because I got what his name is. But I have a Kindle. Well, I get Amazon Prime one, so I get Thursday Night Football.
Right.
But okay, but what do
But
you
it's
not
not,
get
but
that you
listen,
used to?
Listen,
like?
I'm paying $10.99 a month for that. I
Yeah.
get all of these great movies
Right.
and Thursday Night Football.
Yeah.
So you got the package that you want.
Right.
So whatever you did not mention, you don't care about. Even though if you want to watch that, you may have to
Like what?
pay.
Actually, for while it's on,
Yeah.
while the game is on Prime, I can't watch it, you know. So then I just go and play some music, and then when they put the replay on, I can watch the game
Okay.
on NFL, which is I pay for, which is part of my cable package.
You know, okay, just not
Yeah.
think about it or not watch Prime,
You know, 'cause
which is actually what I actually do.
if you don't
because
have Prime,
because
yeah.
Prime is too early for me. I can watch other shit.
Mhm.
Then now it's late at night, football.
Yeah.
Okay, I can stay up for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everything is trying to be streaming now. People are like, well, cable's so expensive. I said, yeah, well, you get to thinking about you got like 10 or 15 of these streaming services at $6, $7, $8, $10
Yeah.
a pop.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah. It starts
You know, because if you, I mean, like now you can get a TV with Roku,
Yeah.
you know, and a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
And
Get all net.
Well,
you
no,
get
but what I'm
Netflix
saying
and
is-
get, Prime, get all of it.
no, what I'm saying is, you just take the TV home and plug it in, and you got this stuff.
Yeah, because it's
But
pretty
then it'll tell you what's free and what isn't. But you can get a whole bunch of free stuff when you buy their TV with Roku in it. You get a bunch of different apps built into the TV.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you can, and then there's some that'll go on and they'll say, yeah, well, this will be a free trial, and then this will be like, from the next time you use it, it's gonna be $7.99, $8.99, $10.99,
Yeah.
you know. But I just got, you know, I just got a lot of cables, a lot of stuff on my cable, you know, and it's like, I don't necessarily, I'm not a movie watcher, I guess that's what it is.
I guess I'm not either, unless
I mean, yeah, I'll
old or very free.
there's old movies that I watch that I've seen before that I really like, I will watch them. But as far as chasing down all these movies and, oh, well, you gotta have this to see this movie, you gotta have that to see that movie, I don't care. I'd rather watch history or sports or
Yeah.
something than
Yeah.
to sit around for 3 hours, well, 2 hours, hung up on a movie that at the end of it I'm going, well, that's 2 hours I'll never get back.
Yeah, I mean,
Some of these movies, it's like when you watch the trailers,
right.
that's pretty much the movie.
That's the best. Yeah.
I mean, they take some of the best scenes to make the trailer, so by the time you sit there, you say, okay, well, I've already seen that, and the rest of the movie is just kind of like, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, But it's okay though, you know. We're used to paying for TV. Back in the day, there was like what, 4 channels. You didn't have to pay shit. Just had to get a TV, raise the antennas, the rabbit ears,
Rabbit ears,
and
man.
you was in. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know what, I don't know about y'all, but I
You
used
broke the
to,
rabbit ear.
I used to have something that I could watch whatever the heck I wanted right here.
You used to really be on used to your portable TVs, your little handheld TVs.
Sony Watchman.
Yeah. We used
Had
to
a little bitty screen about this big.
Yeah, I remember going and Boeing on a Saturday when I worked overtime, going outside at lunchtime and going.
Yep. They had
and watching
it in a
football
watch.
on my watch at Boeing.
Because when the kid was playing soccer, like they were 6, 7, 8-year-old that league, we'd be out there. It'd just be pouring down rain because it's soccer and they play it regardless. So the moms are running up and down the sidelines with the coach, and all the dads are up on the hill under a couple umbrellas watching the Husky game.
Yeah.
on a Sony Watchman.
Yeah.
You know, and then it was like, because soccer at that age is just so funny. There's no positions. It's just a big clump of people and a goalie and a goalie.
You know what? That's
Like
kind of Little League football too at the 89er stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we thought we was playing.
They tried,
Some real
yeah.
football.
Yeah.
They blew that whistle. We just all jumped on each other. Every now and then, someone got away running. You know.
Yeah. But it's just a big clump of children, and then soccer. You have one goalie back here. He's chasing butterflies, and the goalie over there is throwing rocks. And then the moms and the coach are just running up and down the field because you have to follow the clump. So when he gets down there to where it's near the goal, Billy, and the goaltender's like, huh? And the ball goes right by him. They would score like 4, maybe 3, 4 goals. And they would just be so happy. They were like, you know.
And you got the one kid just stand there shivering.
Oh yeah, 'cause it's raining.
I don't want to be here.
Uh-huh.
Or what's even worse is cross country. I feel so bad for the cross country families because
Hey.
they're the first ones up. The weather's always bad,
Yep.
and you take off all your clothes and just run.
Hey. Pretty much. Hey, that was
So
Reg did that. Reg was a cross country runner, and
He was skinny too.
the Koffers. And
They were just crazy.
which one? I know. Which one was that? Wayne that was there when we were at the.
I don't know which
It was
one.
one of them. Anyway, he's still running.
He's 94 years old.
That's what I'm telling you.
Jeez.
He's still running, and I mean, like he'd been running the whole time. I mean, you know, it's a high. Some people, when you get to something that you love, it's hard. And he's like,
I'm fucking but shit.
we're in our 70s, and we're in our 70s, and he's still.
So is he running from or is he chasing?
He's running cross country, whatever they do.
I mean, his motivation.
I
I
don't
can't
know.
let this demon catch up with me, or I'm
Or-
chasing this dream or something.
I don't know, but he's been running. Like I said, we're in our 70s now, and he's still doing that cross country stuff.
Well,
And that
keep
was-
going. That's good. That somebody.
Oh yeah, I'm glad that somebody's in shape. But
Run a
I
little
sure
bit
as
for
hell
me.
ain't.
I mean, I can walk, and every now and then I try to
Absolutely.
jog, but it's more of a walk because it's more walking.
The only time I jog is if I'm crossing the street, not in a crosswalk.
And you can tell that car ain't gonna slow down.
The damn car's moving faster than
That car is slowing
It
down.
didn't look like it was slowing down, and it wasn't.
Me too.
But other than that, I don't, you know.
Can we circle back about 8 minutes?
What?
Something you said.
What's
You've
that?
always dreamed of this day.
Yeah. Of the
So-
internet. Why didn't you invent
Well,
it?
I wasn't dreaming it in it. What I was dreaming was I was sitting at home in Moses Lake thinking, wow, how come I can't just watch what I want when I want? Why can't I just go football game, which I can now?
Yeah.
It
So
didn't
you-
have to be on TV. I could just do it right here.
So you were a visionary. He was thinking about what Paul and Steve Jobs.
You saw the iPhone
Yeah, he was thinking.
back in the
He was
50s.
thinking about it, you know, and they actually did it.
So now this day is here.
Uh-huh.
Are you feeling good about it? I mean, it doesn't
Well,
matter.
yeah. I enjoy going. There's probably 15 programs on here that I watch. Maybe 4 of them are movies, but other different types of programs. I don't watch them all at once. I watch a little bit of this one, a little bit of that one, a little bit of this one. Oh, it's great. It's
Yeah,
great.
now you can binge watch, and that's crazy.
Well, I don't binge watch.
No,
like
I know,
said,
but
I do a little here.
No, but that's available. What
It's
I'm saying is
available, yeah.
people do that. And it's like, I am not going to sit in my house for 4 or 5 hours watching the last season.
Oh, man, I did that like with Twilight
It's
Zone.
rough. Oh, my
I tried to watch so much Twilight Zone one weekend. I tried to get it all kind.
Wait,
Yeah,
what
Dark
was that?
Shadows.
Huh?
Dark Shadows.
Dark Shadows.
Yeah, Dark
That was
Shadow.
on for a while.
It's still on.
No. I mean, well, you can stream it. I find it if you want, but
Yeah,
I mean, it was like a regular program. There was this channel called Decades,
Yes, decades. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Dark Shadows used to come on late at night, and it was like, oh, that's right, it was black and white.
Yeah. He's trying to adjust the color.
Oh,
Go to the menu settings.
Oh, never mind. Because it was.
It
And
was
then
black
later
and white.
then they started doing, because they were doing it in black and white, not because they didn't have the technology, but it made everything more spooky.
Right. I only remember the black and white Dark
I
Shadow.
don't know. That's what I'm wondering. Did they ever go? I don't
Yeah.
remember.
They got
did they
got
go to
much
color?
more color than they did black and white.
Because the thing
See,
is,
I don't
oh, and
remember
another
black and
thing, when they would go back in time, it would be black and white.
Which makes sense.
At first.
Yeah.
At first, and then the color would come on, you know. But yeah, because Barnabas asked he'd be going back to the 1700s and shit, biting people in the neck.
So the black and white, some movies were made to be enjoyed in black and white.
Yeah.
So are you pissed off at Ted Turner when he started colorizing movies that were never meant to be watched in color?
You know what? I don't even think I have ever seen a colorized movie.
Really?
I don't think so.
You should see, what the hell's that movie?
Cotton Goes to Harlem?
No, that was already colored.
It was colored.
That was colored already. But no, what the hell was the name of that? Anyway, you know, you'd be watching all these different things, and like, wow, what do I watch now? You just run out of stuff to watch, and then you gotta go and find some more stuff, which you probably do a lot of. You're one of them,
Seekers.
yeah, there you go.
There's a seeker born every minute.
That's right, that was, yeah. That's true. But,
So, okay, so the way things are going now, where they can track everything we do, especially like you flip this, they know how many times you flip that over.
I know.
Sure.
As a matter of fact, they tell you.
they
Wow.
they do.
You've been online. You've watched X amount of things this week.
Right.
Yeah, they're tracking your eye, they're tracking how long you stay on a certain page, but
Well,
Do
that's
you-
so they can send you stuff that they think you like.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
stuff you never asked them to send you,
Right, and they
or beat
and
you
they,
to the next page.
and they
It's alright.
anyway, it'll
I
all
hope.
it'll all go back together.
Okay, that still works.
But yeah.
Oh yeah, it just pops in.
But no, see, you can get all this. You can get so much stuff that you don't want.
Let's change the subject because I think we're
Yeah.
pissing off the producer. He's
No,
throwing his
no,
camera and shit.
Sick of this shit.
Let's change this.
No, maybe that's the TV guy.
Slowly I turn step by step. Oh, this is a TV guy.
Well, either way. We good.
But yeah, so it's just there's too much stuff on for me. I mean, more than enough. Because I don't watch a good portion of it, and a lot of times, like people are hung up on different streaming programs, not streaming movies.
Yeah, like
But they have like all
Yeah.
these different shows and
Right.
series, and so
Anyway, I want to jump back. I wanted to say, I think there's something to be said when you were talking about back in Moses Lake, how you wanted to be able to just sit there and watch what you wanted to watch. I think there's something to be said for people who have lived in a time where something didn't exist to being able to enjoy it existing. Because I not only like that, like technology to the point where it is now, as opposed to back in the late 50s, early 60s, doing that. Or I thought about with Barack Obama, people, with all their life, black folks with all their life experience, never experiencing, never thinking it was going to happen, and then living through it. I think there's something to be said for, that. I think that's cool. Because I just had that conversation the other day about a script I'm writing, but how it was about loosely based on my high school experience and how I have the luxury of cell phones were not a thing when I was in high school. I still remember, so, if you was out and you had to find a payphone or a business, if you needed to use the phone. So I think there's something to be said for that, and I think it's cool. Anyway, that's what I thought about.
Yeah, but it's really weird because we watched it come about. But imagine if a person from the 1950s suddenly showed up in the 2000s.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of hard explaining a bunch of the shit we got now.
Well, the
How does
first
this
thing
work? What do you know?
to trip him out is this little round vacuum cleaner coming around. You got demons! Go get a priest and try to exercise your room.
Exercise the room.
I mean, that would throw him for.
But yeah, there's so many things, that we have now, but we were there for the progression,
Right.
and we watched the technology evolve. But if somebody would just snatch you from the 50s and put you in 2020,
Or like you went into a coma, like in 1972.
you wake up till,
You
you wake up till the 90s or the 2000s and stuff. It's like, yeah.
So what do you remember is, that's a good subject, your greatest progression that you remember that way back when you thought?
Oh, I'd have to say communications.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the way now that you're never without a phone.
So
You don't have to find a phone booth. A phone booth, kids, is a little box that had a phone in it, and you would put money into the phone, and you could close the door and everything and be separate all by yourself. That's what a phone booth is. You would have to find one.
right.
It's like you might have to walk
A whole block. Yeah.
a while. You might have to. No, I mean like if you're out in. Well, like okay, you remember Renton wasn't Renton, It was just
Farms and land.
a small town that grew into a small city.
Yeah.
When we were kids, we were younger. They didn't have like in Seattle where you had a phone booth every block or every, there was place you'd be walking a while to find a phone booth out here back then.
And weren't they all Ma Bells?
Yeah, they broke my bell up a lot though.
You kids, look up Ma Bell.
They broke her up.
So
Because you had Pacific Northwest Bell.
Pacific Northwest.
You had
right.
Southern Bell down in New Orleans where it was, and then they had some kind of
Was it
Western.
Tennessee something or another?
They broke it up because they said it's a monopoly, which it was. Nobody else had the phones,
So what would they call it now that everybody's got a phone?
Huh? What?
What would they call it now that everybody has a phone?
I don't know.
You mean, what would the old the 1950s,
Yeah,
us they?
that's what I'm saying.
As opposed to a monopoly, what would you call it if everyone had one?
Right, but
Because everybody didn't have a phone back in the day.
no.
Well, you would have a certain amount would be like, okay, that's sacrilegious. A phone was only supposed to be made to be used with a cord. You would have that. You would have my uncle. Well, what do I beat you with now? Because there's no phone cord. So I guess you get away with it this time.
I'm not gonna throw my iPhone at you.
Yeah, that would be kind of.
But yeah,
I mean, there's nothing they can't do this.
Oh, that was fun.
That would trip them out. They couldn't do this.
They did. Yeah. Well, the push buttons would have tripped them out before we even got to this, because we didn't have push button phones until 70s, 80s, 70s.
Yeah.
When did we have push button phones?
70s.
70s, yeah, because we had
I
them.
do miss that dialing and then just keeping your finger in as it comes back. Goes
Only if you want the same number.
Wait. Did you not let it come back and try to catch it before it came back?
Yeah, I did that
And so then
See, now my mom had one of those phones, and I like to play with it, but I get in trouble when I would try to have fun. But that's what I'm saying, they're fun to play with.
But when it's coming back, if you stop it, it's not gonna get the number you originally went for.
Right,
It's gonna get the one that you stopped it at.
Did you get that noise? Yeah.
Here's something. What is a busy signal?
Yeah, these kids.
Oh, you get busy
They went
signals
from
on these.
I was about to say, you get busy signals if somebody's.
Usually you don't get busy signals unless something is wrong
Right.
and the phone is doing it. You can't just pick it up and call somebody. It'll automatically go to their voicemail or some shit, and then it will like if I call you on my phone. Your phone will, you be talking to somebody, your phone will say you got another call. It'll beep, 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 right?
Yeah, something.
But the people on the other side won't get a busy signal because you on the phone. Back in the day when you on the phone,
I guess
somebody
that's true.
calls, you get and you just hang up and call the hell back.
So, because you are kind of ahead of the curve, did you ever think there would be a time when we wouldn't have party lines on the phone? Or did you ever say, okay, one day we're not going to have to share this line with what the hell those people are talking about?
Well, you
Right.
know what? I know I heard of them.
You don't have
What?
a party line?
Yeah,
Dude, my grandma had one.
We did.
My grandma had a party line when we were in New Orleans when I was a little kid. And the thing is, like, you had to wait and see how many times it rang so you knew if it was for you or not.
Oh, so that's how that. Oh, I was trying to remember.
Because if it ring once, right, everybody just kind of waits, like everybody on the line, to see if it rings again. If it rings once and it doesn't ring, it's the first person. If it rings twice, it's this, whichever your signal is, and so I think it went up to 4 times. And then they would start again or some shit, I don't know, but you sit there and you're waiting and it goes ring, and so now you're waiting and then it goes ring, so the first person, well, it ain't for me. Second person, so is it for me? Then it go ring, because it ain't for me. And then once it rings 4 times and that person picks it up. However, everybody else can listen to what you're doing.
I was going to say.
I don't get it
Still
because
talking.
I never.
You can listen in on who's ever
Right.
anybody on that
I do
line.
know I'll be at somebody else's house
You can, yeah. You
And I
can, you
pick
can listen.
Pick the
Hello.
phone up, there'd be other people, there'd be people on
People
already
talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you have to hang up and wait till their conversation's over. You know, but it was like, you just don't want to tell any major secrets on the party line.
Yeah, I mean, I think they still Megan, my sister. She was on the party line thing. I didn't understand it, and I was like, "Who am I talking to? And what are we talking about?" It didn't make any sense to me. But they still have that. I think they're just called chat. They get on. Well, actually, I don't even know. Yeah, I guess they have sites now. People go and talk. And,
People, they still have chat rooms.
yeah.
Why would you do that?
What? Because you're lonely. You want to talk to somebody.
Or you're like a 14-year-old boy
Yeah.
who is just like a horny kid and is like, yeah, chat room. I'm talking to some woman with huge boobs, which is probably not the case. but in your mind.
6'3" narc that needs a shave.
But yeah, they, you know, that technology, that's what I'm saying, the communications is the thing that really, you know, that in my lifetime, I've watched it go from there to where it is now, to where you always got a phone as opposed to having to find one and having to have change.
But that's how you pimped a lot of phone booths, right? Then you beat them out of the change.
Yeah.
You know, well, they always check to see if the money came back. When you first thing you walk in the phone booth, first thing you do is
Just to see if there's some change in the name.
Even if you're not going in the phone booth, walking by one, you be like, hold on, let me.
Exactly. Walking past them, you're gonna check
Yep,
to
you
see
gonna
if
check,
anybody
that's right.
left their change in there. Yeah.
Cause like at I remember Imperial Lanes,
Yeah.
they had like a whole row of them, like about 10 or 12 in a row.
You just go like this.
Yeah.
And so you just go through, like we get there, we go through every phone booth and try to pull out and see if any changes in there. Because a lot of times they would malfunction, even though they ain't supposed to give your change back.
Right.
So you just say, okay, click, and you walk out and you hear it fall, but it fell into the thing instead of into where it's supposed to. But unless you check, you don't know. That's when the little kids who will come behind you, and then they got some money to play pool or whatever the hell.
Well, we used to shake the candy machines and shake
yeah.
the shit out of them trying to get
All
them.
of hey,
Remember Bloomers?
Lumens, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I remember guys, I remember when they were having disturbance there, and folks would come by and they break the machines open and throw the bubble gum machine in the ground. I remember going, get out the way. Move.
5-second rule. But yeah, you know that's I mean, just so much stuff like jet planes, jet airplanes, like commercial. Before Boeing did it in the 60s, you just had military jets and everything, and then you had the big old 4 propeller
Like
jobs and constellations and shit.
TWA. When did they come out
Constellation.
with like TWA?
What?
Weren't they the first international? Oh,
No,
okay,
Pan Am.
Pan Am before
Mhm. Pan Am was the first. Pan Am was, I think they were the first ones to buy the 747, or one of the first customers for when they did the 747.
No, I mean I'm going way back
for
in time.
international flights.
Way back in
But
time.
in
Like
the-
you mentioned, the big,
Oh yeah, they had the
4
one
engine.
with. Remember the one with the 3 tails?
the TriStar or
The-
something.
it was Constellation. They
Yeah,
got one
yeah.
at the like when you driving down
The
Airport
museum.
Way.
The
They got one
museum.
at the museum, and it's got 3 tails. It's long and sleek. One of my favorite planes. That's a nice plane. Never
I
been on.
never got on
Never
a
been
plane
on that.
until
Like, give me a P-50.
19,
Oh, hey, I want to be a B-17 would be good.
The B-17 would be cool.
The G.
1971.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Never got in a plane till then.
we used to
So
used
it's
to go.
19 Really?
Yeah, and got on saying, hope the plane don't crash.
I know.
They
Oh,
almost
you're
arrested
that
me.
guy.
He's that guy. Oh yeah, that guy. He wants to remind everybody, you know what? We're flying 30,000 feet off the ground and we're doing about 400 miles an hour. Hope the plane don't crash. Thank you
That
so
guy.
much. that guy.
I'm the guy that was, I'm gonna time it, so if we crash, as soon as we crash, I'm gonna jump up.
Yeah, I was that guy too.
It's like if the elevator.
I was still that guy in the elevator.
If these cables break, I have to try to know when it's gonna hit so I can jump up in there when it hits. It won't mean shit, but it'd be nice.
Now for the airplane, I fall asleep before we even take off. But the elevator, I still got my jumping plan.
I don't mind.
Well, you know what? I'm glad as you got older, you got better. Cause he used to do the same thing in cars.
I still do the same thing in cars.
Put him in the car, strap him in, start the engine up.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh man.
That's like my grandson.
Oh my goodness.
I go pick him up from like on Orcas, 42nd and Orcas over there,
Yeah.
and by the time I get to my house in CD, he's like every time.
That's a good kid.
Yeah.
Till they get too big to carry him, and it's
Well,
like, no,
we
you
just-
got to wake up. I'm not. I can't carry.
But no, that was one way to put babies to sleep.
Yeah, like
take
that
them
colic
for a
or
ride.
whatever. Yeah.
Take them for a car
Take
ride.
him for a ride.
Because after a while the dryer don't work.
The
Dryer. Oh, the sound of the
You
dryer.
set them on the
Set 'em on
dryer,
the
the
dryer.
vibrations, and then sometimes it might even be because it gets warm. But you set the little whatever, the baby carrier.
They both
on.
looked at you like you was a villain. Like, you out here putting your grandchildren in
No, that was my kid.
the grandbaby. No, my
that
kid.
was
They got
my
a little dry
kid.
action.
I don't know if they inherited that, but yeah, we just set them on the damn dryer. If you didn't feel like going for a ride, because sometimes they just get cranky and they want to stay awake and annoy the hell out of you all night. Everybody that's had a baby knows this,
Yeah, or colic.
And so it's like that's what we would do. You take them for a ride,
Right.
because sometimes you pick them up, you put them on your shoulder, and you walk and shit. Wore a whole goddamn trail in the carpet that still ain't sleep. Okay, fine. Strap them in, get in the car, go down and just drive down by Franklin and back. By the time I get back from where we used to live on 31st, time I get back,
I wouldn't even have to drive. Like I said, I put him in
Just to.
and start the car.
start the car,
He'd
right?
be snoring.
Hey, listen, and when I be have to go on the road trip to go do a show, and my fiance driving, she be on me. She be like, "You better stay awake. If I got to drive, you better stay awake." And I'll be like, "I'm trying."
I tell you, man, that's it. Just get in that car,
Something about it.
But yeah, man, and then but it's the dryer. The dryer is much smoother than the washer.
Hey, I don't know if you guys are
Huh.
as sad as I am, but
Excuse me.
it really I really felt down when they indicted the former president again, because
That's on now.
yeah, well,
It is.
It's on NPR right now.
Yeah, it's on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know how you feel about it, but it really saddens me because he's such a good guy, and I really admire the way he does things. I really admire the way he's just a real boss.
I've seen a brother on TV the other day say the exact same thing, and he wasn't kidding.
What's his name? Tim Scott?
No, I don't know what his name was.
Oh,
But they had him on Fox. And he was going like, yeah, and they're just, it's a witch hunt. I'm going, oh, really?
Well, yeah, but that's true though.
That's that's true.
I don't know if there's a joke coming, but
That was him.
I don't know
being
what you're talking about.
sarcastic.
What is the purpose?
I get it. I feel like you have to have an end point, and you're just like, no, he's great. Don't tell people that unless you feel that, because I can't tell if you're telling a joke or not.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, actually, that would be good.
No, but I just wondered if y'all felt the
Hey,
same.
grab that water and hand it to me, would you?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, love.
Same.
No, I'm good.
DJ.
No, I'm cool. Thank you.
Sometimes in life, people are just people. We call them people,
Okay.
right? They're not trying to prove a
They're
point.
humans.
They're just people.
Yeah.
And they stand for the right thing. And we care about people. You know, they're just people. So
So do you care about 45?
I don't. I really don't, because as a human being, I don't respect him as a human being.
And why not? He's a human being.
I respect him as a human being, just don't respect him as a politician and a businessman.
Well, I mean, no, I mean, that's my opinion.
And a riot insider. I don't, you know.
The reason I don't respect him as a human being, because politics aside, I don't see what he's doing for the benefit of the planet. I'm into the planet quite a bit, and I don't see what he's doing. In fact, I see him try to encourage people to do things against the better nature of the planet.
That's true.
So and that's just me. It doesn't. I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, then I'll deal with it at that point in time. But that's just me. I don't care about what happens in 45. So no.
Can't get enough of that sugar, Chris. Sugar.
Now, yeah. We can talk about that too, because when I got out of high school and changed my diet, I felt better. Stop eating all that damn sugar, Chris.
Oh, I just thought about a person the other day. You know whatever happened to Garrison, Bo Garrison?
Yeah, what happened to Garrison, Bo Garrison?
Disco died. Come on, brothers. He couldn't keep that. Pee Wee Herman. He couldn't keep that up. I tried to bring it back, but Channel 9 said, But no, like him, he was an entertainer. Yeah, I kind of feel a little bit bad. I mean,
Who, what?
Pee Wee.
Yeah, well, you know, hey.
Well,
But I don't feel anything that happens at 45.
Hey, you know
I'm
what?
like, good.
The whole point is, it's like, he just keeps skating
yeah.
from everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
they say,
you-
boom, boom, man,
You gotta hand it to him. How the heck does he keep doing that?
Study Hitler.
He's good at it.
Because he's good at it.
He's good at it. He's good at manipulating people, and he's good at bullying people. That's his main thing. He bullies people.
It's in his
You know.
book. He's just doing the play-by from his own book.
I mean, and the thing is, you know, he done probably lost more money than most of us will ever make in a lifetime, and got it back, and lost it and got it back. I mean, you know, he just knows how to play the game
Well, it's
better than the other people in that game.
it's in his DNA. You
I
know.
don't know where it's at, but I tell you.
You know.
But no, he bullies all these guys. Like, there's so many people that are in that political circle that are afraid of him or afraid of what would happen if they went against him.
They're afraid of his flock.
Because he's, you know, and the thing is, America really changed my mind. I thought we were a really smart, intelligent country overall. You know, our education level, our, you know, intellectual level. But then after 70 million of them voted for him, I was really like, wow, okay.
Well, you know what, honestly,
We're not as smart as I thought.
I never, if y'all really ever listen to me over the years, I always said the American people are dumb. They don't have an ounce
There's a
of
lot of them.
smarts because they always go for the wrong stuff. And I always said, if the American people vote for this glass here, I'm definitely voting for this phone.
Yep.
Well, I guess for me, I don't know, I might be saying the same thing, but just differently. The American people are pretty damn smart, but the Eurocentric leadership of America does not want to acknowledge what everybody else has contributed to America's greatness. Because there are more people who aren't European that have contributed to everything that made this country great and other countries
Wait a
admire.
minute. Why do you have to blame the leadership? It's to me, it's not the leadership. It's the people.
I'm talking about the everyday average American citizen.
That's what I'm
Not
talking
as
about.
bright as I was giving them credit for.
That's who I'm talking about.
You know, and then the thing
I
is,
can't blame it on the leaders because who put the leaders in power?
right.
The leaders put each other in power.
No, they didn't.
No, we vote. That's what dumbass is getting indicted about now. Because he tried to change the vote in Georgia. They still haven't brought that up yet. But I mean, the whole thing is, it's like trends and you know, I mean, think about it. This is a country that bought pet rocks. A lot. Yeah. Yeah. You know.
Well, let's break it down by state. Let's okay.
Some states.
Okay, let me roll up my sleeves.
Hey.
Because when we say America, that's all of us. Let's break it down by states, and let's look at Make America Great Again. We're going to move toward the color red.
Wait. When was America great?
Yeah, I'm getting to that. America was great like the day before the Pilgrims landed, at least. That's the last time America.
Oh yeah, when the Indians were celebrating not yet been discovered.
Not yet.
And let's
That
also
is
give credit what credit is due. Trump was smart enough to capitalize on the phrase, "Let's make America great again."
No.
Who actually said it was Clinton,
Right.
not George, the other one.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
my guy.
No,
Free your mind
but
and your ass will
dude was
fall.
on the radio a while back. He said, MAGA now stands for Make Attorneys Get Attorneys.
True. I like that. Make attorneys get it.
And that's what it, because I'm wondering, what has he got on these people, or how much money is he paying these people? Because the minute one of them gets discredited and goes away, he's got a whole nother set of lawyers. And I'm like, you people see how he is.
Yeah.
Why do you keep jumping in there defending him? What is his hold on you? What is he paying you? I don't get it. Because he's including all the way up to Rudy Giuliani. You know, I'm like, dude, really? Wow.
Well, he wasn't, let's face it, he's not getting the smartest lawyers available because they're not going to take his case.
But he's getting them. Whether they smart down, whatever, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how that keeps happening. Because if I were a lawyer, his case would be the last case I'd want to be associated
I wouldn't
with.
even consider it.
Last case I would want to be associated with. But he keeps getting lawyers. He keeps, boom, male lawyers, female lawyers. He just keeps getting them.
How much?
All the females look alike too.
Well, okay.
I
haven't seen them all, so I can't comment on that. But the ones I see, they look a little different. But I tell you, it's just like I don't understand how he keeps getting people on his team, and you know, and I think in a lot of cases it might be intimidation through
fear of dying?
no fear of you go tell my secrets.
Well, there's a lot of that.
Because if you gather information on a person and the person knows you have it, you don't even have to say, I'll use it if you don't do this.
Right.
Because they know you will, or in his case, he will. And I remember back in school there was a book called A Nation of Sheep. And that's pretty much what we have.
Yeah.
Because trends, you know, you're looking at all these different trends and all, and like I said, they bought pet freaking rocks.
Yeah.
So,
Mood rings.
you know, yeah, mood rings, oh yeah, that, well, how does that work? How does that work?
Yeah. Chia
You know?
pets.
Mm-hmm.
I missed out on all of that.
What?
Mood rock pet rings.
Yeah.
None
Mood
of that.
rock and pet ring.
None of
Yeah,
that
all
did
of
I
it.
look at and went like,
I want one.
no.
I want to get one
How
of
can
those.
I sell some of those? I could make some money
If
selling
I
that
can,
shit.
yeah, but where would I get them at a wholesale price?
You know.
You know.
I'd sell it. I would never.
I never even thought to sell it.
You know what? Speaking of
I would
which,
sell it.
So here's the thing. After a while, the leftovers just kind of sat, and when I was in about 8th grade, my hustle was strong. I was selling candy and doing all the things. I saw them cigars, and I knew some people in 8th grade smoked. I was like, anybody want to buy cigars? They was like, is it Cuban? I was like, probably not, but you want to buy it? They was like, yep. I swiped a bunch of them, sold them $5 a pop. I sure did. And then these little 8th grade, 14-year-old boys sit around. One of the boys gonna tell me, I mean, it ain't Cuban. I've had better. I'm like, shut up. We are children. You know nothing.
And you probably never had a real Cuban.
I'm saying.
Because it was, the restrictions on that shit is just now letting up.
That
Back in the
movie
day-
Belly was out, and they smoked a lot of Cuban cigars in that movie. They were trying to be cool.
You could get them in Canada, but you'd be smuggling
yeah,
when you bought them back. If they cost you that smuggling,
if
because
they ask.
you could not have Cuban cigars.
I'm saying, well, but mine are Haitian. Are those okay? Yeah, Haitian
It
cigars.
don't matter.
So I'm not a smoker. What is the thing about a Cuban cigar
I have no idea.
that makes it?
I think it's longer than most.
No, it just smokes. It's a smoother smoke. Different tobaccos give you sometimes you have a harsher tobacco and sometimes you have a smoother tobacco, and that's the difference. Because see, they grow tobacco all over. But the certain part, I guess Cuba might have had the right soil, the right climate, whatever.
To make a smoother.
To make a smoother
Okay.
leaf, and then, a smoother smoking leaf than, say, Panamanian or Haitian or other places, so.
Now,
But they, cigar's a cigar. If I want to smoke a cigar, and besides, you're not supposed to inhale it anyway. You're supposed to.
But I didn't know
oh
that.
shit!
Yeah. You're supposed
I'm
to.
lucky. That's why I don't smoke to this day.
No, you take it in your mouth and you kind of, roll around, and then you might do like your nostrils and then blow it the hell out, but you don't inhale it. That shit will make you see all kinds of weird shit and make your stomach do funny things.
Now, you just said something, little sidebar, because I listen to old time radio quite a bit on Spotify. Royalty check Spotify. So, and one of them is Abbott Costello. So I listen to them. They were sponsored by Camel,
Camel.
and this is back in the 40s.
Turkish.
One of the
Turkish tobacco.
one of the things Camel bragged about was soothing on your throat. And I'm like, well, why would I have to even worry about the soothing on my? Why are you telling me this as a selling point? But
Yeah, and then they put filters on them and stuff. I mean, the whole thing is, you have some tobaccos that are a little more harsh, and some that are smoother. So, and I guess Cubans was one of the smoother ones, and then they really, really got popular when we couldn't have them no more.
isn't that the way everything is?
That's how it goes.
I mean, that's it. Now everybody, is it Cuban? I want a Cuban. Dude, we haven't been able to import Cuban cigars for freaking decades. But everybody want a Cuban. And people like, cause who the hell was that? Oh, might have been Uncle Jake. When he went down in the islands, he'd maybe going on the cruises and stuff. And so he would bring back a couple, you know, packing their luggage or whatever, you know, just because you couldn't get them, I guess. But you could go to Canada and smoke them all day. You know, but it depends. If you're a cigar smoker, then you're gonna find the ones you like, and you're gonna stick with that. You
Which
know,
makes sense.
whether it's Cuban or
Actually,
yeah.
it does.
you know, because there used to be one called I Have a Tampa. They had a tip. Remember, they had a
You have
wooden
a
tip.
tampon?
Have a Tampa, like Tampa, Florida.
Well, no, thank
not Tampon, Florida.
Oh.
No.
Because you were strong here, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do a tampon, please.
No.
No.
But it was called a Have a Tampa. I think you can still get them. They're kind of like Black and Milds. You know how Black and Milds come with a tip? Black and Mild cigars. Okay, there's these cigars called Black and Mild.
Okay.
And they come with a plastic tip.
The
The Have a
okay.
Tampas came, Hava meaning Havana, Tampa, Havana.
Okay, with a string.
It didn't have a string.
Okay, good.
It had a wooden tip instead of a plastic tip. It's just those tiny
Aren't
little.
those Cubans?
Huh?
Aren't those Cubans?
Have a Tampa. They try to give the impression that they're Cuban because Havana and Tampa Bay, Florida, they combined them.
Across
Have
the
a
street,
Tampa.
yeah.
But they would, I mean, and the thing about those is they smelled so, the aroma, it's like you could smoke indoors.
Yeah.
So you walk through smoking a Have a Tampa. Ooh, what is that? And it's women that's like, oh, okay. Most of the time
Okay.
you put out a cigar and put that shit out, you know. But with a Have a Tampa, it has such a nice aroma that it was acceptable by a lot of people who you wouldn't think
Right.
would, yeah. So, you
So,
know.
so what is the basis of your shirt?
Cotton.
If
That's what I'm
you
saying.
can laugh at yourself,
If you can't laugh at yourself, let me do it for you.
is that a can't?
Yeah, there's apostrophe. Yeah, it was in.
Okay,
It was
see, I
in the
didn't see
fold.
that. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, it was
That's
in
a
the
good
fold.
question. That's a good
It was in the fold.
solid question.
The apostrophe T
Yeah.
was in the fold.
Because I can see if you can laugh at yourself, let me do it for you.
Yeah.
What?
You can't. If you can't laugh at yourself,
Yeah.
let me do it
Let
for
me
you.
do it for you.
Right, I didn't see, like I said, the apostrophe T was hidden in your folds.
Man, and I thought I had lost some weight too. Damn it. I was working hard.
Got caught in the fold. Well, you know.
Now I like Cuban coffee though. So is there a correlation between Cuban?
Yeah, they
Coffee.
take the cigars and ground them up into coffee.
Wow.
I don't really. I somehow I don't know.
Boy,
if
you
that's-
hit that one out the park.
I don't know if that was actually the case.
Okay, well, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I had no
Well,
idea.
no, it's just like coffee. Like there's coffee in Louisiana, and they put chicory in it,
I've heard of chicory.
and so it gives it a different flavor, you know.
Okay.
Like that. But I don't know. The Cuban coffee is, you know,
It's strong.
I guess it's the same thing. When you grow coffee beans, depends on the weather and the soil and everything else.
But it's good to me. Like
Yeah.
you explained Havana, you walk into the room and wave the Havana leaf, and
no,
everybody
no, that was a Have a Tampa.
that have a Tampa.
Right.
So
The Havanas, the Havana cigarettes, the Cuban cigars are a little stronger. Their aroma's a little stronger.
seems like my grandfather used to smoke King Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
Is that did they have the little tip on them like you were explaining?
I don't know.
King Edwards cigar?
Because they used to have a cigar, like they used to have a tip you could put on the cigars, just like you have the cigarette holders, and they had one that was that, and you could put your cigar in it. after you guillotined it.
They had a, wait a minute, like a,
Like you get done with the cigar, you take it, you put the tip in your pocket, and
oh,
then
also you can smoke the rest later and,
no, what you're
keep
smoking
the
a
tip.
cigar. Basically, the deal is it has a tip because if you put it in your mouth, you hold it in your mouth, it gets wet and soggy. So you put it in a cigar holder, like you had. Remember the people used to have those cigarette holders, and some of them
So
be
you're
this
not-
goddamn long.
Negro lipping the
It's
cigar.
inevitable. It's inevitable. You know, because the thing is, you guillotine the tip
Now, why do you do that?
because it's closed.
Well, when you put the fire to his ass, it's gonna open.
No, it's closed. Like the top. It's like they put a leaf over the end of the cigar or whatever. So you take the guillotine and snip that off. Then you can get a better draw. I mean, I've never tried to smoke a cigar without cutting it
But
off.
if you snip that off, aren't you not like getting all of the cigar you pick? It's like ketchup. I'm getting every last
Yeah,
drop
you're
of
not
ketchup.
you're not gonna be able
You're
to
not
smoke
gonna-
all of it.
all of it because
really?
well,
Because like a cigarette, you can smoke all of it if you decide to smoke it down to the filter.
But you can't
Right.
do that with a cigar.
That not unless they put a
No,
filter on it.
Unless you got a really big roach clip.
And even then, you're still never gonna get it. You're gonna burn your lips, so you're
Yeah,
gonna burn your
but-
mouth
yeah.
off before you do that.
Okay, now where did I see this? This guy had a toothpick and he put it in a cigar.
Right.
Is that the same thing you're talking about? So he could.
He's just very poor. He wanted to get everything he had.
I don't know. No, I don't know. Because, like, the good cigars, you have this end is cut flush, and then you have the other end that may taper or may round off, and there's no hole in it. So you put the guillotine.
So it'll drop?
Yeah.
Oh,
You can't smoke it if
damn! I flunked cigar.
You can't smoke it
Really
if
bad.
it's
I'm learning too because I don't know any of this stuff.
Wow.
yeah, you can't smoke it unless you cut the tip off because it's not
You couldn't drop
you
through.
couldn't draw nothing through it.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
where this filter is, and there's no tobacco in it.
Right.
There's no tobacco in this part.
Okay.
So in a cigar, this part would be gone, but this paper would still cover the rest. It
Right.
wouldn't be open like this.
Right.
Oh,
See,
okay.
one
See, I
side-
never- I
one
never
side
even
is
looked
open.
at it.
It's
Okay.
like once they roll the cigar, okay, that one side, the front side is open,
Yeah.
but then they roll the cigar and it rolls over the other
And they
end.
close the back,
It
basically.
closes the other end, so only one end is open.
Got it.
And that just lets it
Okay.
sit. Now, when
Right.
you're gonna smoke it, because that's closed off, you're not gonna get a hit. So that's when the guillotine
So
comes
you
in and
know
you
it.
cut
So
it.
that's why they.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
Now, I will say this: just like a cigarette without a filter, you know, people that roll their own cigarettes and shit like that.
Mhm.
Boy, you hit that tobacco without a filter, it
does.
it's a rush,
It does.
and that's why a lot of people like
I've
these.
done that with rolling the cigarettes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like these older guys who smoke cigars that don't smoke weed. They used to smoke weed. They said I stopped smoking weed because you smoke a cigar right, you're still getting high.
High,
So-
sure will. Sure will. See that, and that's another thing. It depends on how it's rolled too.
So there's a whole damn science to this. that
Oh my
I-
gosh,
Oh,
there is
oh,
communities.
Oh God, yes.
Damn.
Man, there's some small towns that wouldn't be there except for their little tobacco trade. Some of the
Okay,
smaller
so they have
towns
to be
back
good.
and yeah, so and then also like with the Cubans versus the Panamanians or the Haitians or whatever the hell you got it all depends on how you roll it. Because sometimes you're using full leaf and sometimes you're using partial leaf and sometimes you're it's almost crushed up.
And then some people that their job is to roll cigars. I do weddings. I sing at them,
Yeah.
and multiple weddings, they have their cigar people. They have two
Right.
guys in tuxedos,
Right.
have their table kind of bar thing set up, have their
They-
things of cigars, and they're hand rolling them
And they
for
will
all the
sit
guests.
there.
I mean, it's a real thing. They be real about these cigars.
Oh
Wow.
man, it's a
That's
man.
why it's so popular, because I couldn't figure out why my baby brother, who doesn't smoke, but he'll go to a cigar bar, or he'll have brandy and a cigar, and I'm like,
Because you don't inhale it. See, most people, well, I can't say most, but a lot of people are used to smoking cigarettes. And the whole thing is, that's where the whole, oh yeah, the lung cancer and the tobacco industry and blah, blah, blah. Okay, you're smoking. And they didn't have filters. Remember them little Camels?
damn
and,
Camels.
and
yeah.
the Red Pack Pall
Marlboros
Mall.
or something.
Uh-huh. So, you know, people, they would smoke, and they would inhale, they would just take a lungful of this cigarette, and they blow it out, you know, and then back in them days, people would smoke 2, 3, 4 packs a day,
Yeah.
you know, but with a cigar, a cigar is just like brandy, right? You know, they got the big brandy snifter.
Right, right.
You get a good brandy, swirl it around, and then you sniff it. And the aroma, the aroma goes right up your nose,
The rush,
and you get a
the
rush.
sniffer rush.
Except,
So-
I don't like the way it smells, so it just
Well,
smells
yeah, I mean,
roasting it.
it's yeah. I guess everything's an acquired taste these days.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, so you sitting there, okay, you got a snifter of brandy, right? You got cigars sitting here in the ashtray, and a lot of times they won't burn. The
but
cheap
they
ones will
complement
burn
each
up.
other, right?
Huh?
The aroma of the cigar complements the sniffing of the brandy.
Yes, in some
Okay.
cases.
I assume.
In
I don't know.
some
You
cases.
watch the old movies and you see the classy gentlemen with their
Right.
cigars and their brandy.
That's
You know, in my mind they go together.
Right.
Just like you know, well, it doesn't matter what it's just like. But for me, I don't. You know, I can see smoking a cigar and having a drink. I can see how the two can complement each other because I can't see myself just smoking a cigar because I craved it.
No,
It's like this is a moment. I'm gonna smoke a cigar and have a drink.
I'll have
You know.
one every now and then.
Yeah.
I'll have a cigar and I'll go to the one of their smoke shops and they have a big giant room,
Humidor.
which is a humidor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, most humidors are
Yeah.
but they got a whole room.
So
That's the
they
humidor.
control
They have
the
all these-
humidity
Huh?
so that the cigar won't dry out. Is that
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, because the tobacco will dry out and get crumbly and actually it affects the taste.
Yeah, I can believe
Yeah.
that.
So, you know, they keep it in a climate controlled humidor area. And you know, just go up there and talk to the dude, say, dude, you know, what do we, blah, blah, blah. He said, what'd you get last time? And what have you had? And we'll just get this whole conversation. And then I'll give you a good cigar. And then I'll go and smoke part of it. And then maybe I'll smoke part of it later. And then I won't have one for, well, shit, the last time I had a cigar has been about 3 or 4 years ago.
That's a long-lasting rush right there.
Oh no, I had other things to help the rush along.
Oh, right. There's other.
But no, the
The Russians.
Russian,
Right.
Oh yeah, that's why fire
Ukrainians.
into the red. Anyway,
Interesting. So you can, like what you were saying, you were doing a wedding, and they got these professional rollers. So you got these different jars or whatever of, and so depending on what they choose is going to dictate how they roll it.
I don't know. I don't know all of that stuff. I just know.
Hey, as far as I know, the rolling process is the rolling process.
Well, because you said depending on how it's rolled. It's
Right.
Well, that might
But-
be
but the rolling-
depending on like the materials they're using.
Or whether they're using full leaves, partial leaves.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Or
so okay.
Because for instance,
for lack of any other word, shake.
I ain't never seen this at a wedding, but you know, I'm thinking about now for mine. Shoot, having instead of cigar rollers like a blunt roller. Now I smoke blunts. Now there's different things you can use to roll that. You can
Right.
use the swishers. or you can use backwoods, you can use paper. So there's all these different things, and they definitely smoke different depending on what you use.
Well,
so,
then now they got the flavored blunt rolls. Like you can just buy, you just go buy a pack, and they're just papers, sort of, but they're tobacco colored, and sometimes they're flavored. And then you just put a bunch of pot in there.
well, like I like tropical flavored swishers.
Yeah.
It just puts a little vacation on my blunt.
There you go.
Just
No,
You know, we used to have flavored papers when we was young, and wheat straw and all that shit.
like what we did back in the 50s that we would consider today,
Mm-hmm.
the flavored papers, I would be the one that stepped off the spaceship like, where am I? I would be that guy. I'd be an alien in New York City.
But they used to have banana flavored papers. They used to have strawberry flavored
remember
papers.
you can go as long as you want or end when you want to.
And then we have and then we had the yellow ones, the wheat straw.
I didn't know those were flavored.
No, they were flavored. I'm just saying they were different kind of that's just one of the different kinds of papers that we had back then.
And they weren't as sticky as the white ones.
Yeah.
So they like reject mouth juice better than the white ones, because the white ones would get all damp and wet, and
Oh well.
you have to hold to the fireplace to dry them out. Or whoever was rolling had to give it up. Like, you get it way too wet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, 'cause you have to lick the glue. And I remember people would sit there and then they lick it and thing come off. God damn it, those motherfuckers put the glue on the wrong end of this paper. They put the glue on the wrong side. God damn it. Excuse me?
That's like the guy who wanted to sue M&M's. You gave me a bag full of W's, so you're holding them upside down.
Plus, there's only one M on there.
Yeah, sir, you're holding them upside down.
Oh.
So,
M&M.
oh,
And M&M.
okay, well, I learned today, I don't know if I ever used this knowledge of how to recognize, how to not over inhaled, or what do you do with a cigar that you don't over?
You just don't let it go in your lungs. Like you can hit it and get a mouthful of smoke, and then inhale it up your nose and blow it the hell out. And you're just getting the taste. You're not necessarily getting down in your lungs. You know, you don't inhale cigars. For one thing, in a lot of cases, they're too damn strong.
But that kind of goes against, like, if you're a retired weed smoker and you see somebody in the circle holding it here and blowing it out, it's like, why did I
But
pass
that's
you?
the whole thing.
But
It's
yeah.
a cigar. It ain't weed.
But you gotta remember.
Yeah, that's a common thing though that is known amongst us. You know, if you're standing in a group of guys smoking cigars,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to look at you funny if you inhale. They're gonna be like, "Bro, you crazy."
Plus you're gonna be coughing your freaking head
But
off.
they ain't gonna F with you the rest of the day, are they?
Plus
Okay.
you're gonna be coughing your head off. 'Cause they're
Got
strong.
you, got you. Okay.
But it's just like smoking cigarettes. I don't inhale all the time, and if I do, I don't inhale them deep. I
Okay.
just like the taste of the tobacco.
Got it. So,
But I don't.
I remember when the folks used to look at me when I was smoking going, "You're not even inhaling.
Yeah,
Well, you're wasting the smoke."
fine. But guess what? I bought it. It's mine. Shut up.
good point.
You can't tell me what to do.
Good point.
You can't tell
And
me
good
what
point.
to do with my shit. What are you talking about? You know, now if you bought it and you sharing it with me, well then you may have a comment. But other than that, like, no. Shit, this is mine. I can do with it what I want. Just like Clinton. Oh yeah, I tried pot in college, but I didn't inhale.
Yeah, but I wanted to F him up for saying that. I mean, wasting some good ass weed, not inhaling.
So,
I mean, it was his weed, or it was their weed, whatever it was. It wasn't mine. I
It's
didn't
just
care.
the thought of it.
I would have had to have a few words with him if it would have been my
Okay,
weed.
so it wasn't just me then.
No,
Okay,
if it
all
been
right.
my weed, I said, dude, give me that shit.
but did you believe him?
What?
That he did inhale?
He's a politician. I didn't believe a damn thing.
Exactly. Right there, that's one strike again.
Yeah.
But no, like I said, when I smoke cigarettes, I don't necessarily inhale. And then, like I said, if you're smoking pot, you inhale deeply.
Right. That's
Okay.
that's what I heard.
If I'm smoking a cigarette,
I
I'll
heard
do
that.
the same thing like a damn cigar. Just fuck around, keep it in my mouth, wrap my nose, and blow it the hell out. Never even goes near my lungs.
So you just have to keep up with, like, what circle you're with.
Why?
Like if you go to like a smoking house or whatever,
A hookah bar.
yeah, you got to know, okay, what circle you're with. It's like, this is a cigar group, this is the weed group.
I don't care. This is a cigar, this is the weed. Inhale?
Don't
No.
inhale.
Well, you want to know which is which.
That's
Well,
really
you
the
don't know
fact.
by looking at it.
Yeah.
You gonna know when you, as soon as you take a puff and you do the wrong thing,
You're
Yeah.
gonna know.
you gonna know.
You cough your head up, you be running around the floor trying to pick your head.
If
and
you
put it
take
back on.
that blunt and you
Shit.
take a puff and blow it out real quick,
Mhm.
yeah, they're gonna look at you funny like you
Right.
wasting weed.
You wasted.
You
You
now
wasting.
you take that cigar
Yeah.
and you puff that and you put that shit all down up in this
Oh,
region.
I was gonna let you
Oh
know.
my
Okay.
goodness.
You will cough your
They're gonna
head.
take and be like, they gonna say, sit down, young fella. They're gonna take your cigar and they
Yeah,
go,
you will cough your freaking head off. It's-
No, okay. Because you had a frat brother once.
Yeah.
He used to fall out on the floor. It was just from the chronic.
Oh yeah.
I
Well,
would
you
enjoy
know.
every
Hell yeah.
every.
Hell, I've fallen out on the floor a couple of times. My damn self. What? Cause we had all these different ways that we was experimenting. Remember, we had a horn.
Yeah.
Remember that horn?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Big black
And
one.
then
My
and
favorite was still the gas
I
mask
got,
with the big bug eye.
I bought that from where I was working at the time.
Yeah.
I think Warehouser, and so we had all of these different gas masks because there was such toxic shit around there, sulfur and
Right.
chlorine and all kinds of shit. So they had gas mask stations along the wall, and then a couple of them had a full face. Most of them were just a canister, and then you put the hose in your mouth,
Right.
right? So I found one that was full face. So I went and got to the supply thing, wherever the hell storage, and got one of the ones that didn't have a face, the full face, and I traded it. And then I brought it home.
That was a good trade.
And then we got way too wasted with it. It was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting when when you see it and then you just watch the smoke go up all the way up into the big old bug eyes.
The face disappears behind the smoke.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, we could do a glass of smoke and look like milk.
A glass of smoke. I just remember.
No, you can take a glass like a you know that size glass, and then take a straw,
Yeah.
and then take a puff, and then slowly, and it's nice and thick, so you can just fill that glass up with smoke,
With smoke.
and then drink it. Well, you know, inhale it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed out on so much.
Oh, hey. Well, because we used to hang out with brain scientists and rocket surgeons and shit. These motherfuckers.
Yeah.
We even knew a dude made his own acid. He was actually in your class.
I probably know who that is.
Yeah, yep.
I probably know.
No
who that-
government names until we go off.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
So
And you probably know him too.
is it about that time?
Yeah, it looks like it's about that time.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'd like to thank you for joining us for a way out edition of Old Black Men Conversations. I'd like to thank
Stimulating.
our venue host and also a guest, you heard her a few times, Lady T,
Mm-hmm.
and you're next, sir.
Oh, I didn't.
We're closing.
Right, I missed the toss. So anyway,
Okay.
Gary Green, still your street philosopher, and everybody be well, stay safe, and stay hydrated.
For sure. And stay out of certain parts of the country if you can.
For
Jesus.
sure. Yes, yes.
Yeah, it was 97 in New Orleans, and that was the cool spot in the whole area.
Wow.
Shit. I was like,
Pay attention.
But
Don't smoke
anyway,
those cigars.
this is the real Cliff Barnes, and remember to subscribe and say it loud on YouTube, and share, subscribe, like, and do all that other stuff, because you like us, we love you. See ya.
Peace.